What's good? It's me. I'm back, everybody. It's PG 33. It's been a minute. This has been inspired by a good friend of mine, Captain Marcus J. And so I'm going to try this. Hopefully, you guys like this. If you do, thumb up, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But yeah, um, this is a time when running with the crowd made me learn that things that happen in the movies sometimes only happen in the movies. You remember growing up? Okay, wait. First, let's get this straight. If you're around my age, around in the early '80s, horror movies was the bomb. It ran the game, and some of my favorite was like Jason and Michael Myers. And I remember those guys or women in the movie being chased, and they just always would get caught, and I'd be like, man, ain't no way in hell they would catch me. I'd be gone. We talk trash, right? We start that wish creed. I wish it would. Well, I learned at a young age some things are only true on movie sets. When I was in the seventh grade, I had two friends that I used to walk home with sometimes. Um, I was a scrawny, short little kid. I gotta explain this so the story makes sense for you. I was a short, scrawny kid. Um, I'm not really big now, but I ended up being 6 feet tall. But that came way late, so I was like a midget height in junior high, and this is like seventh grade. And one was my classmate. I won't give names. He was in the same grade I was in. He was in the seventh grade. And then the other person was in the seventh grade, but was supposed to be in like the ninth grade. Okay. Now we'll call them. Let me see. What can I call them? R and G. Okay. We're gonna call them R and G. All right. So, um, me and R and G used to walk home from school together sometime. Well, one day, wait, first, I almost forgot. You got to understand this story in full. So let me tell you about a little more about R and G. Okay, R and G are brothers. Okay, and R is the elder of the two brothers. R is the calm, cool guy. For one, he was older than us, but he hung with us because we were in the same grade. And G was a little more outgoing. He stayed in trouble, stayed in sack, stayed in the office, always was put in the hallway. Matter of fact, this guy ended up um, being in one of the most biggest criminal cases in my city. Okay, but we're gonna stop right there. But I needed you to understand about RNG. Now, me, I wasn't a troublemaker. But, I always hung with the in crowd pretty much. I just knew how to keep my nose clean. So it wasn't like I tried to be hard or anything like that. I just hung with the crowd and I like playing sports. So, they kind of kept you in the in crowd a little bit. Well, anyway, back to the story. Um, Me, R and G are now walking from junior high. And the walk probably took about 30 to 40 minutes. It could have been 25 if we was really trying to get through, but you know how you do. You walk, you drag your feet, you talk about the movies you watch or the football practice you were just in, basketball practice. You know how it goes. Well, we ended up coming up to the way the trail was. You had to walk down the street so far, and then you would take a turn off the street the school was on. And when you would take this turn, you go up one block and take a right. And at the end of this street which is about 150 yards. The trail is. So we've made it to the street off of the main road school is on. We've taken our left. And we're coming up the hill to take the right to go down this street to go to this trail we go to all the time. But this particular day, there was about 20 to 25 students standing outside on this corner, ranging from sixth grade to probably 10th grade. So maybe even seniors possibly, but it was a whole lot. And we was walking past them, no big deal. Some of them were my friends. So we walked past them, we get down the street, and me and R is kind of ahead of G. We're not understanding what's on G mind right now. We walk together all the time, so there was no reason to pay attention to what he was doing. But we walk, we get to the end of the trail. Now, these 25 plus people that was at the end of this corner were all Mexican. Now, I have Mexican friends. I have no problems with them. I love them just like I love anybody else. But you got to remember that G, just as an instigator, he had to stir up some noise. So me and R is making it to the trail. We right at the trail now, and G is about 10 to 15 feet behind us. And as we get to the trail, we notice G ain't right behind us. So we stop. We turn and we look, and G has stopped and has turned in the middle of the road. And when he turns in the middle of the road, he yells, F you, you know what. And I'm like, oh my God. And as he says it, he take off in a full sprint, straight by us. So when he run by us in a full sprint, y'all know that it's like a disease. It's like catching a cold. It's like catching the flu. If you see one person run, you don't wait to find out if you need to run. You just run. Now, this trail we're going through, it's probably about a half mile, almost a mile long. But the thing about this trail, it broke up into two because a back road ran down like the middle of it. And the first part of the trail was full of sugar sand. So, and let me remind you, we were athletic. I played football. I was a tailback. So I had a little speed to me. So in my mind, once I ran, I wasn't getting caught. I just knew that. I just knew I was gone. So we running now. Me and R is running full blast. G has come by so quick that when he hit the trail, he disappeared in the bushes like a wild rabbit in the briar patch. I mean, he just up in there. So I'm like, what? But we running. I don't even think. I'm just thinking if I make it through this second section of the trail, I'll be almost home. Because my house was like maybe 2 blocks once you cleared the second end of the trail. So I'm running, man. I'm talking about I'm running hard. And the first part of the trail is full of sugar sand. So as me and my partner come through, we fighting each other because both was fast to take the lead because the trail was narrow and there was a lot of bush and stuff hanging over. So we running and we pushing and we fighting each other trying to get through this trail. And the sugar sand is pretty deep, so you ain't getting good grip. But we finally get to the point where it's wide enough where we can break through, and now we running full speed. Now I'm running within mind. If these guys catch me, they will unalive me. Let me say that correctly. They will unalive. And you know how you're supposed to run when you feel that way? Ain't nothing supposed to catch you. Well, in the movies, they run forever. But in real life, you have these things called organs. And they really kick in when you push the body really hard. If I don't care what kind of athlete you is. So I'm running, I'm pushing hard, and I notice I'm starting to get that ache in my side. But I'm in my mind, I'm like, I'm running all the way home with this ache. I do not care. I am not stopping. I'm up out of here. I I see my partner in front of me. He brakes right when we get into to the end of the first section of the trail. We almost there. R breaks. He stops. He said, "I can't take no more." He just gives up. So I see him and I'm like, "Shoot." So I'm still running, y'all. I ain't even thinking about trying to stay help fight. All I know is I need to get home. So I'm running up through there, and I figure if I can get home, I can get help. So I'm coming up through there. He breaks down. I make it to the opening in the middle of the street, and at that moment, it was like some mighty hand of sharpness come from nowhere and hit me right in the right side of my stomach. It felt like it ripped it open. I mean, I had no choice. I couldn't even inhale or exhale. I had pushed the body to the limit. So now I just stop. I can't make it no more. I stop. I'm hands on knees trying to get all the oxygen I can, and I'm watching, looking back at the trail, hoping that I got far enough away that they ain't gonna catch me. By that time, as I stand up to get some really good wind, by seven of them run out through the trail. Next thing you know, I'm completely surrounded. I'm talking about they are all around me, and it's like, What's that? What's that trash you was talking, man? What was that all that you was saying at the trail? So I'm trying to explain to him, but I can't breathe because it feel like I'm being stabbed. I can't. I have no oxygen. These high schoolers look like they probably ran cross country or something because I mean, they was not winded at all, and they was straight up closing in on. And all I could do was get up a hand and say, "Man, it was not me." That's all I could do. That day they was feeling nice. They basically say, "Look, watch your mouth. We ain't none of that y'all was saying," which none of it was me. But I was just glad they wasn't hurt. And they went and gathered back up, and they went back toward the block they were standing on. And so now I'm grabbing my side, and I'm trying to get my wind back, and I'm raising up, and I look over, and I'm looking for R, and I'm like, R, R. By that time, here he come. He come out holding his side, raising up. I said, "You all right?" He said, "Yeah, man. They didn't do nothing to me." I said, "Me neither." So now we looking for G, the person that started this all. And I forgot to tell you, when they surrounded me, another pack ran past me to catch G. Well, as me and R is now walking through the trail, we passed the group that was looking for G. They done gave up. And they pretty much cussed us out a little bit, but just kept going. So at this moment, we know we safe, but we like, where the hell is G? So we walking and we're trying to get our breath, and all of a sudden I hear this sound. And if you're from the country or from the south and you've been in the woods, there's a sound that you hear when something wild in the woods is making its way towards you, whether it's a snake, hog, pigs, whatever. The leaves got a specific sound, and these leaves kicked up so hard, so loud, it was like, oh my God. And in my mind, they tricked us. This is it. This the ambush. It's going down. And when we turn around to see what the noise was, it was G. He was about 30 feet in the woods. And when I tell you he crawled up in the woods like a rabbit does a briar patch, he was in the woods like a rabbit in the briar patch. He had to crawl out from under like a snake. It was unreal just seeing him come out. And all I could think in my mind is, as long as it's taking you to get out of this, how the hell did you get in? But true story, y'all. That day I found out that don't believe the movies, and I learned that early and quick. Uh, you only gonna run as far as your organs is gonna allow. All right. So big shout out to Marcus J, and rest in peace to G. He's no longer with us, so I'm gonna keep it. Like I said, I'm gonna keep that private. But yeah, that's a true story of mine, and I got a few more that I plan on sharing. So I hope you guys like this, and yeah, don't believe what the movies tell you. Until next time, peace and love to the planet. All right.